Hello and welcome to Sci-Fi Night LIGHT, where we talk about random topics that somehow relate to sci-fi and horror. Anyway, it's October, and you know what that means.
Happy Halloween, 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 happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
Alright, so as it's spooky season, we're delivering chills. And what movie scared me the most recently? It wasn't Pet Sematary, it wasn't Us, it wasn't It Chapter 2, though I did really like Us.
That's a classic right there.
Well, actually, it was Joker. That's right, the surprise hit that was the origin story of a Joker, not really related to the DCEU. It's a little complicated, but it was a fantastic movie getting fantastic praise from critics. Now, I know, it's hardly a horror film, but it really did get under my skin in the absolute best of ways. Oh yeah, and before I go further, I will just state there will be some minor spoilers for the movie here.
Listening to Jeffrey, but he's still talking. I am not listening to you.
So if you haven't seen it and you want to go into the film completely unknowing, well, then I truly don't understand why you clicked on this video. So to touch on the film real quick, it tells an origin story of Batman and DC Comics' most famous villain, the Joker, this time as Arthur Fleck, played by Joaquin Phoenix. I loved it. The film has brilliant direction, editing, acting, writing, even the color grading deserves mention, and the score is one of the best I've heard in recent years. And of course, Joaquin Phoenix delivers a tour de force performance that is so worthy of an Oscar that I'm pretty sure the old farts who run that shit probably won't even nominate him.
God damn it!
It's a dark, cautionary tale of depravity, isolation, mental illness, and how dangerous, unstable individuals can eventually resort to violence under the right circumstances. Now, sure, there are some flaws if you want to nitpick, and admittedly, the structure of the movie very closely resembles Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver and King of Comedy, but still, this is a 5 out of 5 film for me. But what made it so scary? Well, that's because of a dark and very realistic angle the film took in regards to the dangerous loner with mental illness, the archetype who we, very unfortunately, see all too often on the news in real life. While Arthur Fleck, or Joker as he will later be called, is definitely the end product, Gotham City itself is what actually produces that product. As a stark reminder of a grimy and seedy New York City of the 70s, Gotham City and Joker is not a nice place to live, which in turn produces some not very nice people to be around. While there are several so real it's scary moments, I want to focus on just a few, 3 specifically, the ones that got to me the most, and by all means, please share yours later. First off, how mental illness is treated. The city's funding gets cut, meaning that Fleck's visits to a psychiatrist simply stop, and so does his medication subscription. Now, maybe this is just because I'm from a country with socialized medicine, but that is fucking terrifying.
What the fuck is this?
I truly believe that many of us are just a few bad days away from being able to do horrible things. Many times therapists and psychologists are the first in line of defense in regards of treating potentially violent mental illness. And as someone who did suffer from some very dark and violent thoughts and tendencies during a bad period in life, believe me, therapy really did help a lot. Treating violent and dark behavior, getting to them before it actually materializes, is so vital for mental health. Something this movie touches on brilliantly. And also how his issues seem to be mostly just brushed away, which is an issue that unfortunately has a lot of real life similarities. Fleck getting his therapy sessions and medication cut is one of the tipping points for him, further excluding him from society, letting all the darkness and violence within run rampant and unchecked. And that is a very realistically scary thought.
All I have are negative thoughts.
So, to the next part that scared me, it may actually surprise you. When Fleck finally gets on his favorite show, his violent clown actions have already inspired a social movement in the city. When he shows up to the talk show in full clown garb, he gets asked if his dress is political. Fleck responds, "Oh, I don't believe in all that," and then adding, "I don't believe in anything." He is already disconnected from society. He could care less about the class struggles and other turmoil the city is going through. To him, there is no city. There is nobody else. He believes in nothing. He cares for nothing. There's only shallow existence. In his mind, and when you have that frame of mind, taking a life on live TV really doesn't mean anything either. We see this type of madness, often with very thinly veiled and misguided reasoning, but the core is a view of society, of social meaning and belonging as completely irrelevant. That's scary, because when you don't care about society, you don't care about it being hurt either, like Fleck clearly shows, and acts on as well. The final scene that I find frightening, again because of its real-world implications, may also surprise you. When Fleck attends a stand-up comedy show for inspiration, we get the first glimpse of how potentially dangerous he really is. But why though? I mean, he's just kinda sitting there watching the routine. What's so telling about that scene? I'll tell you why. Because he shows a clear misunderstanding of what it means to be human and how human interactions actually work. He laughs at the wrong parts of a joke. He writes down what he interprets to be the punchline while completely missing the point of humor itself, missing the humanity in it. It's like someone with a human shell, faking it, trying their best to seem as human as possible. Most violent psychopaths have an almost jarring disconnect from society, like normal human interaction is almost something alien to them. These are the exact tendencies that Fleck shows in this scene. He really does not understand the people around him. It's not just him doing joke reconnaissance, it's him trying to understand humans, and he shows how fundamentally different he thinks from the rest of us, leading to him also acting very, very differently later on. The film did receive criticism, somehow, for being deemed glorifying of these aspects, but it really does not show it. In my opinion, it just shows how a sympathetic character can become somebody horrible. And the way that these scenes relate to real life is just alarmingly realistic. Now, these three scenes might not be seen as frightening at all, and I get that if you don't think so. But to me, they aren't scary because of what they show. They're scary because of what they don't show: human understanding and a connection to society. I mean, we humans are social animals, and when we can't function, and when we function completely oppositely to how the rest of society goes, well, that's usually not a good combination. With that disconnect from humanity and society, acting inhumanely is all the more easy. And once you start, it's a slippery slope before you get destructive results, whether that's on the silver screen or in real life. But yeah, overall this was a fantastic film that manages to be just as frightening as it is beautiful, well made, and how hard it hits home in some ways as well. So that about does it for this episode of Sci-Fi Night Light. We hope you enjoyed it. If you've got a different take on Joker, if you find other things frightening or scary about it, by all means let me know what those are in the comments below. Halloween month continues, we do have some more stuff planned coming up, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
It's almost time, kids.
Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
It's almost time, kids. The clock is ticking. Be in front of your TV sets for the Horror-thon. And remember the big giveaway at 9. Don't miss it. And don't forget to wear your masks.